Future Vision. Alan Davis of Humanware demonstrates the Explorer range of electronic magnifiers and the Hark Reader AI, all recorded on the 23rd of October 2024.
Good morning, everybody. Today, we've got Alan Davis from Humanware, which is one of the top assistive tech companies, not just here, but in the world. And there's been a couple of requests for some pieces of equipment which Alan will show. But Alan, over to you. And can you demonstrate some of your wonderful products for us, please?
Okay, thanks, Tim, for the invitation. Yes, so Humanware's been around for over 35 years now. And as a company, we design, we manufacture, we supply, we support products that are used by people who are visually impaired. So our customers who use our products range from 4 or 5 years old, well into their 90s and above, who are using one of our various products. And the product range is electronic magnifiers. So we really start for people with low vision, where the optical magnifier sort of stops, where it becomes such a struggle for people to use their magnifying glasses. And I say glasses because very often people have got a whole selection of magnifying glasses and also spectacles that they've used over a period of time if they're suffering from a degenerative sight loss condition. And that's very typical. So we start when that becomes so difficult. So I'm going to spend some time going through the magnifiers and the latest range of magnifiers that we have, where we're going with that. The other part of our business is Braille technology. So it's very, very sort of specialist, very niche area of our business, but refreshable Braille is a very important part of our portfolio. We also do talking book players of various sizes and types for various content applied on memory stick or downloaded off a PC. Ability, we have the Stella Trek, which I know people want to cover, so we're going to talk about that today for people who are out traveling and walking and in vehicles, traveling independently with their cane and guide dog if they are some severe sight loss or totally blind. And then the other part of the other sort of arm of our business, if you like, is reading machines. We've been doing standalone reading machines for a long, long time, but they've really come on in recent times. So we're very excited about the latest development in standalone reading machines. And by that, I mean, you don't need a computer, you don't have a scanner, you don't need a PC, you don't need any PC skills. And I think that's about all our products. Is the design of them is hopefully to make them intuitive to use. They are electronic in the sense they need recharging, but actual simple to use for some of our customers who probably haven't engaged with technology to a bigger or lesser degree. They're able to pick up the piece of equipment and start using it very successfully. So that hopefully will come through what I'm going to talk about today, is that simplicity of use and being able to use a product for just basic need or allowing it to use more advanced need. So some of the products have menus, additional features, which I'll discuss. So if I may, I can just start quickly on the magnifiers, if you wish, electronic magnifiers. And first product of a family of magnifiers, they're called the Explore range. Explore being because they're, you can take them about with you. The smallest one is the Explore 5. And the Explore 5 I'm holding up now, it has a 5-inch screen. So we still measure screens in Imperial. So a diagonal screen dimension of 5 inches. And this is, for many of our customers, a starting point for that next step on from the optical magnifying glass. Very quickly, as magnifying glasses, optical magnifying glasses get more powerful in their strength, times 4, times 8, times 10. They always get smaller in size as well. So very often, if somebody has that degenerative condition and they need greater magnification, by the time they've used a magnifying glass, it's sometimes the size of a 10-pence piece to look through. So that's where we come in handy. This Explore 5, it has a handle. It's at the back at the moment. I'm just going to open that up. And the handle comes on right away. I'm going to turn it up so you're going to see my shirt and see me underneath. We've got some buttons here, plus and minus. Well, the plus makes things larger, times the magnification, and the minus makes things smaller. So you just repeatedly press the button and we go up to the maximum range of 22 times magnification. Very typically, somebody using the Explore 5 probably used it around 7, 8 times magnification. But when we're looking at print with this, you'll be seeing words, not just letters. And seeing words can help with the understanding, can help with the fluidity of reading. So somebody typically holds it in this fashion. I'm going to do my best to get onto the screen here. so they can put it there in front, and the text is displayed on the screen, and I'm seeing full words on the screen at the same time. At that level of magnification, which was ×5. So we're going to open this little leaflet up and use it to the best of with the cameras. Hopefully not getting any glare. We'll find some text, and I think you can see, if I get it all right, we can see some text on the screen. And the idea is that for these type of devices, you use them at we call it spot reading. It's occasional use. It's not going to read a magazine from cover to cover, or a newspaper, or reading a book from cover to cover. It really is about being able to just find, what's on the TV listings, what time my program on, what channel is this program on that I've heard about. Around the house, is it a chicken pie or a steak and kidney pie? Is the pie in date? How long do I cook it for? What medicines have I got? Have I got the right dosage? What's the setting on the microwave, on the washing machine? When you're out and about in the shops, is that portability of being able to take it around with you. In the cafe, the restaurant, being able to read the menu. And one of the bit I've mentioned that you see more text on the screen compared to a magnifying glass. But the other big factor is one of the buttons here, the button on the side, will change the contrast of color. So you may be in a restaurant and you've got a menu, but it's a gray font on a brown piece of paper or beige. It's the contrast that's not there. And just matter how big you make it, everybody with a sight loss will need contrast. The brightness level is something different. That'll be individual. The magnification level would be different. That's individual. But contrast, the difference between black and white, is what everybody requires and will help everybody. And that might be black and white. We can turn it to white and black. We can make it yellow and black and different colors. And I'll show that on some of the other products. So, and I remember a lady said to me, I've got lots of anecdotes, but a lady said, I've got people who read the menus out to me all the time. It's very kind of them. But nobody ever tells you the price of anything on there. They just tell you what the food is and the description given there. So it's really nice for her to be able to take this. It's very discreet. It can be used. It's also got its own lighting on the back, so that if you're in not a very bright area, it will light up the text that you're wishing to read. The Explore 5, as with all our Explore products, I'll come on to quickly in a moment, has a port for HDMI connection. So it comes with a cable. It has a micro HDMI, and at the other end of the cable is a full-size HDMI, and that fits into the back of a television. So the purpose of this is that if you're looking, say, at photographs or pictures in a magazine in particular, and it can also relate to text, but I think with those examples, pictures, the 5-inch screen is actually still too small to be able to see that picture. So you can connect it to a television. If you've got HDMI, if you've got a flat screen TV, it'll have a HDMI port. So you can have the cable there. And then the image that you're looking at, the photograph you're looking at, is no longer displayed on the 5-inch screen. It's displayed on the 54-inch screen in the living room that many people will have. Another nice feature is you have a freeze button. If, say, for example, in a supermarket, and you're wishing to look at something on a shelf, which is 6 foot, and I'm only 5'9", shrinking rapidly, as my son keeps reminding me, this can be placed up against it, and you can press the button, and it freezes the image, it being a special promotion on a price tag or description of the product that would be impossible to read with an optical magnifying glass, because an optical magnifying glass depends on 2 factors. 1, your distance from your eye to the glass. 2, the distance from the magnifying glass to the object you're wishing to read. So if it's 6 foot up there, it'd be impossible to reach. So it's quite a nice feature where you can raise this up in the up on the top, press the button, it freezes the image, and then it can be displayed. You can bring it to your eye so you can see what that price tag was, what that price offer is that's above your head, or indeed below on the bottom shelf. I remember a lady saying to me, she used to be on there trying to read the magnifying glass, the prices, and people would think she'd fallen over in the shop and making a fuss and trying to help, and that wasn't the issue at all. The next size up, so we go up in size, is the Explore 8. It turns on simply by pressing down this stand or pressing the button. I'm going to try and get some text to show here as well. So we put it on here. Try and sort this out. Okay, so I've just got some text underneath, but it instantly comes on. And that's the nice thing about the Explore 5. Years ago, I used to wait for software to load up. I used to wait for a logo to come up on the screen. nowadays, both with all our Explorers, they're instantly on, they're instantly ready to use. You can program what size of text you wanted to start at. You can program what color you like to have. So I'm just going to press the button here, and I think you're going to see some different colors now appearing on the screen for those of you able to see the screen. So we've got different color combinations of text as I press this one button. We have a minus button and a plus button, where the minus button makes things smaller, reduces the magnification, and the plus button makes it larger. There is also a touch screen, so for those people who are able to, they can use the pinch gesture to change the magnification on the screen. Okay, so the bigger screen gives us a bigger viewing area. So people who want to do a bit more reading than just the best before date on the chicken pie and the tablets, they want to read those medicine instructions, or they really want to read some articles in the newspaper. They can use the Explorer 8. It may suit their needs, and it goes up to 30 times magnification as opposed to 22. So, and of course, in terms of budget, the price goes up. So that's another factor for many people is the budget. The final member of the Explore family, so still portable enough to carry with you. I'm not suggesting you take this to the shops, but if you're just going to stay with family or friends or people going away, they could take this with them. It's the Explore 12. So it's a 12-inch magnifier, a 12-inch screen. Again, we've got the buttons positioned at the bottom of the screen to change the colors and to change the magnification size. And we purposely put them at the bottom rather than on the side, because when you're moving it, you're sitting at your desk, you're moving it across the table, you're going to be holding the left and the right side. And you don't want to be changing just by moving it over the text. You don't want to be changing by accident any of your settings. So by having them at the bottom, you're not going to be suddenly changing the color when you didn't intend to change the color, or changing the size when you intend to change the size. The Explore 12 comes with a stand as standard. So it's included in the kit. Use that now. It also comes with a carry case. I'm going to try and position my camera. And this is the stand. It folds down when you're not using it, for those people able to see the screen. It has two levers on each leg, and they just click into position. A cradle comes around, and we place the magnifier in, and instantly the magnifier does come to life. I'll put something underneath it, some text again. The text will come up on the screen. Sorry, because we've got some glare, so I'm going to try and move that over so we can see the best we can. But the idea of the stand is that you can now write underneath. We can now put our objects underneath. If you want to replace the batteries in the TV remote control, you can have that underneath and be working on it. Some people like to do their craft work. Ladies like to paint their nails, threading needles, all these type of painting models. Lots of things that people like to do where they keep their hands are free to work underneath. I was with a lady just yesterday who's 90 years old, and she enjoyed doing Sudoku puzzles. So she was able to use a Sudoku book her daughters had purchased and write underneath and complete that, and also word searches. I guess it's just keeping the brain active and something she enjoyed doing. So it's really nice to be able to make those changes. So there we go. Now, the other purpose of that stand, we find for a lot of private customers, and this was true of the lady yesterday I was with, one of the reasons she really wanted to see this product was because it does have a distance camera feature at the top. So I'm going to tap on that icon, and what happens then, that activates a second camera that's built into the magnifier. The first one was looking down at the table, but the second one looks straight out in front of us. And what she wanted to do then was to be able to see the television. And effectively, she was able, the TV was, in this instance, about 8 feet across the room. She had a big 50-inch plus TV, but she wanted to sit in her armchair rather than getting closer and closer to the television. So she sat in a chair. We placed this on a little pad cushion with a tray, like you eat your tea off, on her lap. And she was able to see the television from across the room. And she had macular degeneration in both eyes. And it was really nice. So we watched a bit of Family Fortunes together. She was able to see the words. And we flicked over to Countdown, and she was again able to see the letters clearly. And watching the TV is something that, you know, for a lot of people, they're happy for sons or daughters to read their post or help them with the bills and that type of thing. But nobody can watch TV for you. So it was really nice for her to be able to see the details and see the people's faces, because what was taken away effectively was the enemy that is distance. So, you know, it might be just 8 feet across the room, but every time we halve that distance, the image that hits the back of the eye is twice as big. So if we half it each time, 4 foot to 2 foot, 2 foot to 1 foot, 1 foot to 6 inches, then you're going to have a much bigger image hitting the eye. That's true for everybody. Of course, how it's then processed is different from one person to another, but she was able to see clearly the image on the screen, which was really very pleasing. And I've been with people who have been watching cricket. I've seen, and when the cricket scorecard comes up, you can actually freeze the image. There's a button on the top that allows you to freeze the image. And so the person can then pan and zoom, because it's got a touch screen, and follow whatever's the scorecard that's being presented on the screen in their own time, rather than those few moments that it just comes up for everybody else watching. So some really nice features for that. But I think TV viewing is something that a lot of people who try other things like wearables that just don't work quite well for them. And it's light enough to go on a little table or person's lap, but got on the cushions for them to be able to sit for some time doing that task. Okay. That's me. So that's a snapshot of our most popular magnifiers, and they say the Explore family of products. In terms of prices, you're looking at £445 up to £1,500, just under, on the Explore 12, so from the Explore 5 to the Explore 12. We do offer, I'm pleased to say we're the first company in the industry to offer a payment program where people can spread the costs over 12 months. So on the Explore 5, £37-38 a month, and then it's yours. So you just have it through the payment program. And we offer that on all our products. We do have another magnifier. The next stage up is a 16-inch screen. It's a folding design. It's not as portable, of course, but some people are able to take it off the table. It does come with a little trolley case for people who want to take that around with them. And that has a 16-inch screen, and it's called the Reveal 16, and it has two functions. One as a magnifier to work underneath, to reading. You place your text underneath, it comes up on the screen, you can change the colors, etc. And it also, the Reveal 16i has a level of intelligence that the screen is a touch screen, and it has our software called Prodigy software built in that allows the text to scroll up the screen. So when I meet people who say, I loved reading, I really am an avid reader, or I was an avid reader, read books and newspapers from cover to cover, the Reveal 16i is really perfect for that scenario, because every other device, you either have to move the magnifier over the text, or you move the text under the magnifier left and right. But with the 16i, it takes a photograph. All the icons are nice and big on the screen, so very easy to use. And once a picture is taken of the page or pages that you wish to read, the text then scrolls up the screen like an auto cue. So you won't have any sort of seasickness feeling, which can be common for people who've used a CCTV for many years. If you use it for more than 15 or 20 minutes, you start to feel really quite nauseous, which is very unpleasant. But with the Reveal 16i, you can read for hours without that discomfort, without any physical fatigue, because you don't have to do anything yourself, and no visual fatigue. And it's just like reading like an auto cue. So people read off there for hours. If they're reading the news, if you're Donald Trump, you're at a cat rally, I think he goes on for about 2 hours, and he's reading it very often off an auto cue. So it's that idea that other people are using it, and that's what we've encapsulated in the Reveal 16i. It's also, I can also mention that the text, however large you magnify it and it rewraps to fit the screen like an auto cue, it always stays at a perfect quality. We call this diamond edge text. So even if it's a newspaper print that's really low quality print, very often if you just magnify under a magnifier, it pixelates. But on the Reveal 16i, it doesn't do that. So it's there. I should say, if anybody wants to try and see these products in person, I know you're Centre Tim, you have some facilities, and we come to exhibitions, but we also go to people's houses to demonstrate, and it's absolutely free. There's no obligation at all, and you can try 2 or 3 different pieces of kit. So I'm way over the time, so I want to just keep moving through, if I may. In terms of our Braille products, very quickly, because I know it won't be relevant to everybody, but we can just quickly show on this. We do a 20-cell Braille display called the Brailliant BI 20X. So it has 20 cells of refreshable Braille. It has a Perkins style keyboard built in as well. It has Wi-Fi capabilities, has Bluetooth capabilities. You can put, if you want to read books, it has an SD card on the back. You can put cards, books in different formats onto the card, and you can read. It's very portable, so you take it with you if you're traveling. You can read with that, and you can have it connected to several devices, up to 5 devices. Typically, that would be a phone. People have an iPhone in particular, which is very common for blind people and Braille users. It has connectivity. You can just connect it to your phone. So if you receive a text message, you get a notification, and you can read it in Braille rather than having to listen to it by your ear. And you can read that message in Braille, and you can respond to that message in Braille, and vice versa, whilst you're on the move. The next item we do is a 40-cell Brailliant, so it gets bigger, twice as many Braille cells. So these are refreshable Braille pins. Again, can be used with a phone, but would typically be used by people using a laptop with a screen reader built in that supports Braille. So things like NVDA, etc., probably the most common ones that will work with this device. So whatever's on the PC, again, you can have it connected via cable, or you can have it Bluetooth. So you can have the PC on the desk, and you can be sitting in the lounge and checking emails, doing the banking online, go through websites, etc., through the medium of Braille. Rather than just the speech of the laptop. They do have speech built in as well, so we have that option too, so you can listen to items and also listen to the menus, particularly useful in schools where people want to support pupils and by hearing as well, not being able to see the Braille because the person's fingertips are on there. They can hear what's happening and where the student is at. We also do a product called Mantis Q40, which is a 40-cell Braille display. So numbers relate to numbers of refreshable Braille cells, and that has a QWERTY keyboard, and that's very popular as well. So rather than a Braille input, you're using a QWERTY input, so you haven't got to think what the Braille command is to perform a specific function on a computer. You just type what you would do on your computer. So it means your computer can be folded away. It could be in your rucksack if you're on the train, and you can be doing some work or reading some books or doing private stuff that you need to do, but without the laptop being on display, and just using the QWERTY keyboard to type. And then again, if you receive a text message, you can have it so that is presented on the Braille display, and you can answer it without having to have your phone out in the public area, or just use the speech so everybody else listens to it. You're reading and responding using the medium of Braille. So there, two products. One product we just released, very new, is relevant to people who do a lot of Braille reading. Is called the Monarch. That's just got released last month, and that has 10 lines of Braille. It's a dynamic tactile Braille device, so it has 10 refreshable lines of Braille. So rather than just the one single line that we've been using for nearly 50 years. Next year will be the 50th anniversary of the first Braille display, electronic Braille display. And for 50 years, there've been one line of Braille. You pan forward to the next line of your reading, you use your thumb keys to pan forward, and so on and so forth. Whereas on the Monarch, the Braille is presented to you in 10 lines. So it's sort of replicating what paper Braille is like. So you can feel those, then you can move forward and you can cross-reference as you're reading. So that's a very new, exciting product for people who need to or want to read a lot of Braille in a dynamic environment rather than waiting for paper Braille or reading paper Braille for them to use. The next product I'd like to show is, so I'm sorry I'm going quite quick, but I've got a lot to cover. I'm hoping everything's clear coming through how I'm describing it. Is for home use, mostly home use, is our very popular product. I've got it in my hand now, so it's a bit bigger than an A4 piece of paper, about a couple of inches high. It folds down. It's called the Hark Reader. This is a standalone reading machine. So a person wishes to read some text. It may be something that comes through the post. It may be a book. It may be a magazine. They just raise the arm on the device.
Start recording.
And the light comes on. It's battery operated, so it's not connected to mains at the moment. And the device said, please place your document. And the key thing about this, we know to place our document directly on the surface of the machine. So if I receive something in the post, I was using this Explore 5 leaflet a moment ago. So we've got 3 lines of text. I place it on the surface. It takes a picture. Some extra light here.
Please place your document.
Anticholinergics are a group of medications which can sometimes make hallucinations.
So just starting reading some text that we've got here.
Please place your document.
Visual hallucinations I picked up just the other day from the RNIB. So it's an A5 booklet, just a page. As soon as I place it on, it takes a picture. It's reading. I'm not having to press any buttons at all. And if I decide I don't want to read this because it's junk mail that's just come through, I can just take it away, it stops reading. So it's that real lovely simplicity. And because I'm not going to press any buttons, I've got a book that I wish to read. So I've got a Michael Mosley book. It naturally wants to fold back up. So all I need to do is place it on the surface. I can take my time. There's no rush. I'm placing it on the surface now. I'm holding down the corners of the page so they're relatively flat. And now it's taking the picture.
Raise one leg and use your core muscles to help you balance. That, after breakfast it is, of course, time to brush your teeth. If you were to please,
I think we're all standing on one leg brushing our teeth these days. It's, my wife has me doing that. There are some controls. There's a volume slider in the middle, so you can adjust the volume. You can also plug in headphones, or if you wear a hearing aid loop set, you can plug in a neck loop for that. There's a button that takes you back one sentence at a time, and there's a button that will pause. So if you're listening to something, you'll post, and the telephone rings, you can just press the pause button, go and answer the telephone, come back, press the pause button again, and it will resume. But for the process of reading, you don't need to press any buttons at all. And it really is as quick as just raising the arm and putting whatever you need to read on there. So Hark Reader has been very popular for a long time. And the most recent development is the new Hark AI. And AI, of course, most people will be familiar with now as being artificial intelligence. And it's really great to see how that is incorporated into this device. So for Hark AI to work, you do need to have, lower my camera, you do need to have a Wi-Fi connection in the house. We make the process, if you have a WPS button on your router, it actually prompts you to press and hold a button. It then puts it into search mode so that you can press the button on the back of your router if you have a WPS button, and then the two will pair up. And that's only on initial setup. Thereafter, you don't need to keep it any longer. Once you've got it connected, things like it has a barcode identifier. So if I've got my tin here and I put it into place,
ham soup brand, Heinz manufacturer, Heinz
tells me it's the Heinz pea and ham soup.
Like a deliciously warming bowl full of Heinz soup. Heinz pea and ham soup has been made to our special Schwartz chili con carne recipe mix brand. Schwartz manufacturer, Schwartz description.
That's not the one I want.
Flavor, our quick and easy to recipe Schwartz cheddar cheese sauce mix brand. Schwartz manufacturer, Schwartz description, fit with care, act with flavor. Please place your document.
So those were three examples of things that feel the same: cheddar cheese sauce mix and the chili con carne cheese mix. And my soup, I could have had 10 tins of soup here or 5 tins of soup, but very quickly, just by rotating it, when the camera sees it, it takes a picture. It's being the barcode, but it reads that barcode and it gives me the description that the manufacturer has assigned to it. So a really nice, simple way. I haven't got to worry. If it's a tin, I just rotate it till the barcode is found. So with the Hark AI, we have the barcode reader, but we also have, is a nice feature of being able to give a description of an image, say a card or a picture. It might be a hobby of, as with a lady who had a butterfly magazine, and it was given a description of the different butterflies and the colours. But in my hand now, I've got a greetings card, which has a rather cute picture on the front. So I'm going to place it on the surface. It will take a picture, and I'm going to press one button. And the button is the pause button, and that activates the AI.
The image shows a sleeping kitten nestled in a blue ceramic fill. Please place your document.
Let me do that again because I took it away. I want to show people who can see the screen.
Image description. The image shows a framed artwork depicting a sleeping kitten in a blue bucket filled with white daisies. The kitten is curled up and appears to be resting peacefully, with a daisy resting on its fur. The background is a soft, blurred greenish-blue color, creating a serene and calming atmosphere. End of text.
Okay, so I'm going to, for people on the screen who can see the screen, I'm going to place that there, and I think it's fairly true representation of this rather cute picture of there. But if I open up this card, there is a greeting inside. So let's see what it says. It's a handwritten message. So by pressing the button, you heard a little chime that says it's gone off into the cloud. It's gone to the AI.
Description. The image shows a handwritten birthday card addressed to dear Susan with the message "Happy Birthday, love from Trevor and Irene" written inside. Please place your document.
So it read the handwriting in this card. And for a lot of people, that we've been asked for many years since the first standalone reading machines came out, can we read, handwrite with this? So I just proved you can, and it gives a really nice description of any pictures that you have as well. It doesn't have to be on a greeting card, as I said. It's any magazines, leaflets, brochures. Another example, I think I haven't got it with me now, but was a coupon offers from a local, I think it was a co-op, and it got lots of different coupons on there. And if you're just reading that, it's quite difficult. But using the AI, you can say, this appears to be a promotional leaflet from the co-op with special offers relating to pizzas, relating to whatever, and gives you that overview, that description of the page without having to read it line by line. So a really nice feature, the Hark AI. And for sure, some people will use their phones with apps to do that, what have you. But this is really simple. I haven't got to think about positioning my phone over the top. I haven't got to think about double swiping. I haven't got to think about tapping on the screen. You just place it on the surface, and to be able to read the handwriting and give the image, it just involves the pressing of one button to activate the AI. So we've made it a little bit more complex than the Hark Reader. You don't press any buttons, but you just press the one button. And for most of our customers, they find that nice and straightforward to use. The other nice feature of the Hark AI, as well as the barcode, the product description, and the handwriting, is it will translate one document into another. So for people whose maybe English isn't their first language, you have a document that's very important to read, you can have it loaded with different languages. So you might have maybe Ukrainian. It will then translate that English text into Ukrainian language, and vice versa. So for people where translation is important, that's a really great help as well. Okay. Oh, there is an optional keypad for the Hark Reader and Hark AI. It comes with some directional arrows, which allows you to give you increased navigation. So if you wish to move forwards and backwards by a sentence or a word or a character or a page or paragraph, you can use the buttons to do that. So people have a lot of text which has email addresses on or telephone numbers, and they want to check that number, they can use this keypad to go through the number individually, or to read through the email address rather than having it just read out in one block of text, letter by letter, because it's critical, of course, to get the right details. So for those people who have that need, there's an optional keypad, and that actually rather nicely magnetized and fits into the top of the arm of the iPad Solo. It also comes
Alan and Tim from Science Advice, just a quick one. We have a Hark here. Is it possible to upgrade it at all by paying to send it back to Humanware? We've got an ordinary Hark without the AI.
Yeah. So Tim, it depends how old the device is. So the cut-off point would be around end of June last year. So talking about June 2023. If it's bought before then, I'm afraid we can't upgrade it. But if it's purchased after then, we can do the upgrade. Upgrade price is around about £400, that sort of mark.
Okay, thank you.
Which is about the difference in price between the two. So the Hark Reader is 1595, 1600. The Hark AI is 1995, 2000. But the people aren't paying every time you click that button. There's no contract. There's nothing like that. You just have to have a Wi-Fi in the home to connect to in the first instance, and then you can use it as much as you wish to use.
Thank you.
How much memory do they have?
So we don't store anything on the device. It is possible to store it to 4 pages, but it's negligible. Because there is, years ago when we used to do scanners, which would take 30 seconds to scan a page from a book, another 30 seconds to process it and read it out, it was important to have it saved. But now it's so quick at reading, the page, we don't put additional memory in. So, and I think that's quite a nice feature. Somebody says to me, a blind person said to me, it's like reading a book like you read a book, Alan. I should have said right at the start, I'm fully sighted. It's like you read, I can just put the bookmark in, turn the page, when I come to read, put it down, it reads. When it's finished, take it away, turn the page, put it back, and within 1 or 2 seconds, it's reading. So it's not the necessity, because you couldn't wait 30 seconds to read it. You go bonkers, or 45, So because it is so fast at reading, we don't have a memory built in.
I have two questions. First question is, can you alter the voice? Are there different voice options for the reading out of the text? And the second question is relating to the AI. As AI develops, if you purchase one with the AI option and AI improves, is that going to improve with the machine that you bought, or will you have to buy a different machine in the future?
Okay, so two good questions there. First of all, thank you for, oh gosh, I omitted it. There we are. It comes with 6 English voices pre-installed. So we have a range of male and female voices. They have sort of a regional voice. There's Fiona, who is from Edinburgh. There's Moira, who's more of a Northern Irish type of accented voice. So there's 6 pre-installed voices. This one was Malcolm, who's pre-installed as the default voice. We find that most of our customers prefer the deeper voice, and you find it easier to hear. But of course, you can change it at any time. You can also add down, I think I mentioned language packs as well. So you might have Arabic, Hebrew, Russian, Ukrainian, whatever, French and German, of course. So all those languages, over 45 different languages that you can include. But they come with 6 voices pre-installed in English. So the updates on the Chat GPT, I mean, that will be with the manufacturer. I should say, Humanware don't actually manufacture this product. We are the UK distributor and European distributor for the company Silo, who make it, and I think they will make updates as and when they become available. But typically, when we update it, they're not over-the-air updates. We would send out a memory stick, and you can update it, or our technicians will be able to update it. So I imagine that will come about in time, but you'll have those updates, but it'll probably be on a memory stick. That's the way they've done them previously. They've all been done that way.
Thank you.
And the updates we've had so far, and I can't guarantee that we've done before, have been free updates as well. But I can't predict into the future how much that'll be an issue. Okay, so I know people want to talk about the Stella Treck. So I've got in my hand the Stella Trek. The idea is to use it in one hand for people who can see the screen. It has buttons on there, so it's got a directional keypad, a confirm button in the middle, 2 small buttons on the top, a longer button below the directional arrows. That's the where am I button, and then a final button to take you home as well. So it's a home button in the sense of back into the menus. And it also has a button on the side, that's the on-off button, a record button, because it has a built-in microphone. You can record your own landmarks. It is a satellite navigation system. You can record your own routes. It has volume buttons on the side, up and down, and it has an indoor setting and an outdoor setting. So it goes from one straight to the other. So if you're in a busy area, you want it louder, it'll go into an outdoor mode. There is a socket at the bottom for headphones. So if you're sitting on the bus, so it's safe to put some headphones in. It's a 3.5mm socket. You can listen to where you are on the bus in privacy rather than it reading out to everybody else. There's Bluetooth built in as well. So some people have Bluetooth jawbone conducting headphones. It keeps the ears free, but you can also hear if it's giving you instruction or it's giving you information of what's around you. And then there's a camera on the back of the device, 2 cameras actually, and a light. And we use this for several purposes. And we've been updating that over a period of time. The original purpose is to help that final 20 feet. And the idea is if you're going to a friend's house, you can put a postcode in, or if you go into a restaurant, you can put a postcode in, the address in of the restaurant. You can find it on its built-in points of interest. There's lots of commercial points of interest. But when you arrive at, say, a friend's house who lives at number 20, it'll tell you you've arrived. But you actually don't know if you're at number 20, number 18, number 16, or you may be at number 90, because it won't know what side of the street you're on. It will say, I've got you to this pinpoint. And that's where the device itself prompts you to find the door and prompts you to find a number. So it will ask you to hold the device in front, looking at what you believe to be where the streets, where the houses are, and then it will take a picture. And you can use that picture. Then, if it identifies a house number and a door, it will tell you that it will give you that information of what the house number is and in what direction, how far away the door is. So it might be, if it's right in front of you, 12 o'clock, it might be 20 feet or 4 or 5 meters. And again, it might say it's number 19. So you know that you're on the other, you need to be on the other side of the road and find a safe crossing point to do so. I get the most important thing about this as an aid in navigation is it's not a mobility aid. So that person, if they're totally blind, must be good cane or guide dog user. It is an aid to help you. The camera can be used also for scanning around. So if you're in a shopping centre and you want to find some shops, it has a quick scan mode, so you can activate it. It'll take picture, so it'll tell you it's Boots, it'll tell you it's Pizza Express. Oh, okay. And maybe you take another picture of the Boots. It tells you there's a big sign in the window that tells you it's a special offer with 20% off or double bonus points or whatever it may be in that shop. So that can be used anywhere. You don't have to be online for that to happen. We're not getting a Wi-Fi signal. We've not got a SIM card in or anything like that. It can be used that way. And you can also use it for OCR of a more detailed page. So again, we can hold it above a page of text, capture a page, and it will read to us. So it has sort of this quick reading mode, a scanning mode of what's around you. You could use that in the cupboards. You know, if we showed earlier with the tins and the sachets, it's not so you can scan the cupboard and bring out objects and scan them with the camera for that purpose as well. So the camera can be used for multiple options. It also has a colour coded on there as well. So say you've got a blue shirt on or a black shirt on or yellow shirt on, it can be used for colour detection as well. So we're trying to add on multiple uses for this device, but its core purpose is as a GPS aid. It's to be able to search routes. It's to be able to find points of interest. So it'll tell you what street you're on. It'll tell you what direction you're travelling in. It'll tell you what the next street is as you approach it. It'll say, St Mary's Road on your left. As you cross over and come to the next one, it'll say St John's Road on your right. And that's quite nice because although St John's Road might not be relevant to you because it's on the other side of the road, in this example, to know it's there, to be aware of what's in your environment is actually, the feedback we get is that people really do like that, to have that rather than just the streets, but are relevant to the number of routes that person has learnt along with their mobility instructor or sighted friend. So you can record routes, you can record landmarks on there. So landmark could be a bus stop and it could be, favourite shops, and you suddenly want to go to a particular shop to find something, you're in another part of town, you can search through the list of your recordings because you've been there once before, you've recorded your favourite shop's name, and it will direct from where you are now to that landmark. And it also asks you to confirm whether it's a pedestrian or whether you're travelling in a vehicle, whether you're travelling with someone else. And the idea is then, of course, it would take into consideration one-way streets, and it won't put you as a pedestrian onto a dual carriageway, etc., if you've got a longer journey. The other very nice feature, and this is where it appeals to people with some low vision who perhaps don't ordinarily need all the capabilities when they're out walking. They have sufficient vision, using a binocular, what have you, to see street names. But if they travel a lot by bus, and it's particularly useful. This time of year it gets dark very early. It's difficult to see out the windows, difficult to see the landmarks, certainly impossible to see the street names. Again, where this will tell you each street as you pass by. So it won't say three-way intersection, St John's Road crossing St Mary's Lane on your left, like it would do if we were walking as we approach it. It will just call out St Mary's Lane, St John Street, the High Street. And as you turn on, it confirms you're on that street, and you can set as a landmark your bus stop for home. You might set it 50 metres down the road. You'll hear your own voice saying bus stop for home, is that's what you've recorded, and you'll know to stand up, press the bell, rather than worrying, have you remembered where you are, have you felt where you are, but the inclination or decline of the bus, or has the driver remembered you're on, etc., etc. So, it's a great help, because that can be, for a lot of people, create a lot of anxiety. Say all designed to be used, it's got buttons, designed to be used in one hand because primarily everyone is going to have their other hand with the dog or the cane. Right, I've overrun. We covered a lot. I think I've covered everything.
Any questions?
Hi, it's Monica. Regarding the previous device you described, I think it's called Hark. There are two versions of it. Yeah. The latest one is AI. Is there any way of having it wired, not Wi-Fi? I'm sensitive to electromagnetic frequency, and I would love to be able to use it, but if it's on Wi-Fi, I've got internet wired down at home.
Yeah, it's a really good question. And
I have this option.
So we don't have an internet port on the device, but we do have a USB port that we do use for the updates I mentioned before.
Okay.
And it's also, I should have said, on that USB, if you put a USB stick in, you can save your documents over as a text file and as an audio file if you then want to play them on a computer. But for most of our customers, they are using it, using it for their reading experience and reading enjoyment.
Yeah.
And now I don't know the answer to that question. And
you can get an Ethernet to USB connector.
Yeah,
you can. I've got one.
Yeah, I know you can get it. I just don't know whether the USB in here will support it. So I will have to ask that question. And if I come back to Tim.
But the main question is, I've got an Explore 5 and an Explore 8. And is there a way of, do Humanware give any firmware updates to these devices where any improvements are made to the software?
Yeah, okay. So if you have access to the internet, Nigel, in our support, there's a support section.
Yes.
And it has lots of products listed there, because not only the ones we sell in the UK, there are some other products sold elsewhere, but you will get to the Explore family. So any software updates are available, you can download. So it's worth checking there, see if there is anything that comes through. But
how do you get it onto the device though? Do you use the HDMI port?
You'd have to connect it to a PC using the USB-C port.
All right, okay, and then you can just. Is there an app that will do the installation?
You just see it as it's just seen as a file.
Yes.
And so it's like seen as a hard drive, and there'll be a file there that you can transfer if there's any updates. But you can download, and it comes with instructions on how to do.
All right, I didn't know that.
Tremendous number of downloads, for the products, but as and when there is, they're available.
Right. Well, we've gone past 11. We have well over 20 people today. It was quite nice. So thank you, people, for coming. Thank you, Alan. That was great.
About Future Vision. Future Vision is a series of technology events aimed at people living with sight loss. Future Vision is a collaborative project between 6 local independent sight societies: Sight Advice South Lakes, Cumbria; My Sight Notts, Nottingham; Sight Airedale, Airedale area, North and West Yorkshire; Support for Sight, Mid and West Essex; Sutton Vision, London Borough of Sutton; Outlookus, Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. Future Vision and Live Well. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. Future Vision events take place on the 4th Thursday of each month at 10 a.m. Live Well sessions concentrate on making the most of life with sight loss. These sessions take place on the 2nd Thursday of each month at 10 a.m. To attend the next session, or to suggest future topics, please contact your local sight society, who will be able to provide you with a Zoom link.